about this cool car that my son's just brought?
Well, it's all-wheel drive. It's turbocharged, so it's a super fun car. They're just awesome little cars. This one has some stuff even done to it. It has a performance exhaust, performance intake. It's amazing. You guys absolutely love that car. That's a really fun car. It's a cool car.
Excellent. That's brilliant. Thank you.
No problem.
So hey, welcome back to another episode of Wray's Garage, where today I'm just tooling around in the new car, and as what often seems to be the case with these new vehicles, I'm on my way to Costco. So go figure. But anyway, yes, we've landed in a new car. It is neither of the cars I was looking at it lately, as I was looking at the BMW series thinking I wanted a smaller compact sedan with a little pep in its step. One of those being the E46 M3 that you saw, which had its fan issues, and then the other one was the 135i, which I did spend a lot of time entertaining. I test drove two of the BMW 135i's, one that was heavily modified, and I really did enjoy the ride in both. But when push came to shove, just never felt like the car I was going to own next. And I think somewhat in my old age, I'm starting to become more practical, and that's definitely how I landed this thing. And on the other side, I got the vibe that the reason I couldn't go for this was these small openings in the sedan trunks, the difficulty in a two-door car getting kids in the back. As infrequently as it happens, they moan about it, and so I didn't want to take that on either. And then above and beyond that, the practicality of a hatchback just became a really obvious thing to do. So then that sent me down a track of, okay, do I look at the Ford Focus ST? Do I look at the Honda Civic Type R? Do I look at the Ford Focus RS? Even though they don't make them anymore, I wasn't looking at new anyway, so that really wasn't an issue. And then the VW Golf, which growing up, if you had a Golf, in England especially, you were pretty hip to be square, and so that definitely had some cachet for me as I was out there shopping. So after writing off the Type R for its looks, just was a little too shout and hooray for my growing up sensibilities, let's say, it came down to the ST and or RS. I couldn't find any RSs that were in a budget range I was willing to spend, and it was recommended to me that I look at the ST. It would be a fun and eager car. So Jerry, this goes out to you. You absolutely nailed it on the head. When I went out to test drive these two vehicles, what you had said was the Focus ST would be kind of plasticky interior, but super eager and fun to drive, has some cool gauges in the dash. And then if you go with the VW, the Golfs, you know, it'll be a bit more refined interior. It'll feel like the Audi that I used to have, but it'll be just a little bit more benign or docile. And that was absolutely a dead accurate statement. But what really kind of started to come out to me after testing both cars was the distinct Jekyll and Hyde nature of the VW R, or Golf R. And that's what I'm sitting in here today. If I haven't given it away somewhere already, I'm in a VW R. It's a 2015. This is a 2015, but it only has 13,758 miles on it at the minute. And so the low mileage, there are a couple of light mods on here, but I'll save kind of the under the covers review for another day, because I do want to check out what has been done beyond intake, exhaust, and I want to see the extent to which the exhaust was played with. And then what was the other thing? There's a tune on here, and claiming, at least to the dealership, which was a Toyota dealership, so you gotta, take that for what it's worth, grain of salt possibly. They said it was putting over 300 to the wheels, and it was done at Dyno Comp, a tuner in town that I am familiar with. So my plan is, and I may do it before I release this video, possibly not, probably for the next one, to call them, see if I can figure out what they did, because, you know, when I'm setting the table for what's next, I need to really know where we are today. And so anyway, back to the requirements. Practical, hatch. Turned out I got the 5 doors in the case of the hatchback, so the kids can't get in the back. Small, compact, powerful, and I guess the split personality is what I landed. Not necessarily was going in for that, but that is this weird ability to check both boxes. It can be a sedate around town commuter, but you can really work on these cars, and you can hit the cars even stock with 292 horses and roughly the same in torque, in foot-pounds of torque. So it's a powerful little beast, and you can turn it on, turn it up. There are driving modes. There is adaptive suspension, or dynamic chassis control, as they call it here in the VW parlance. And I get to stay in the family, right? I've got the Porsche in the garage already, and yeah, so that's cool. The turbo, I get the turbo. So, you know, maybe I'll live to regret it. I've got the NA all souped up with the Spider, and now I get to dabble a little bit in turbo land, and you know, that's probably going to mean intercoolers and various other cooling things that I'm going to have to really get my arms around, especially here in Arizona in summer. And then above and beyond that, some tuning, some light tuning, and this thing can easily scrape 400. And I think, you know, be it sooner or later, that will probably be in the plans for this vehicle, just to raise it and elevate it further still. And possibly when I call Dyno Comp, we'll be doing a dyno. From a sentimental standpoint, the first car I ever owned, and it was here stateside, I never owned a vehicle back in the UK, was a VW Beetle, the new shaped VW Beetle, which was relatively new at the time. And I certainly enjoyed that vehicle, never had any issues with it. It was always very solid and reliable for me. And I think this is this particular hatch, the VW Golf R, it's the mullet of hatchbacks, right? Or mullet of vehicles. It's business on the outside, but underneath there's a little party in back. And you know, that's true in the exhausts, which have a little pop and gurgle. I would like to see if I can dial it up a little bit more. It's understated, but it's so classy and it's so put together. It looks really good in my eyes. And again, it's not beautiful, it's not flashy in any way, but it's solid and it's tested and timed and tried and true. And I think that's what Volkswagen, Audi Group, and Porsche do well, is they build on their successes. And the Golf, you know, going back decades now, and Porsche with its, you know, rear and mid-engine car since the 90s, is really evolves from what is already a really solid foundation. Really do like the interior of this car. I did get the DSG model, the 6-speed DSG it is. Shifts run really well. I did order some extended paddles here for my hands, and hopefully they'll show up any day now, so I can get those on there. The paddles are pretty small on the standard OEM offering. The rest of the interior cabin, it's well put together. The seats are fantastic. It's leather. It's solid. It's, again, not flashy in any way, just really comfortable. You have the right adjustments you need, and the dash and the display has all the information you'd want. The touch screen's very effective. It looks a little outdated, but it does what you'd want it to do, which I think, you know, possibly you could say about the whole car. But the materials, the quality, everything is solid, which I would definitely not say about the ST. Not that I'm knocking it. I think it's a fun car. I enjoy driving it, but I knew ultimately the quality issues there would get under my skin, and that's really what pushed me back towards the VW brand. I am telling myself that I'm going to keep this car for a period of time. Now, I suspect I may be kidding myself, but hopefully along the way here, I have this livable, highly livable, practical daily driver that can have this weekend personality to it without being required to put in full-time duty on track/autocross. I'm not saying it won't see a little bit of track action. We'll kind of see how things evolve with it. Certainly I'd be curious. I know a lot of other people have used it for those applications, so it's more than capable. And you know, certainly the love of modification and wanting to understand this turbo a little better and how to make these engines go, I think that's going to be a really interesting journey. So, you know, up and coming here in the very near future, I'll be having to buy another OBD11. I have apparently lost mine from my Audi ownership experience. And so the OBD11, for those who don't know, is a very cool Bluetooth dongle that you throw in your OBT2 port, and it gives you diagnostics and gives you the ability to adjust and customize your various components of the machine. So, and then like I said before, the next real level is understanding what is modified, what's not. Let's get underneath the covers, lift the top up, get underneath, see what's on here, and then see what kind of plan and trajectory we can take for a build here. Oh, I don't miss this part. Back to dinosaur juice and the long lines for dinosaur juice. So that about wraps it up for this episode. Like I said, on the next episode, my plan is to get it up on the quick jack, get underneath, get under the hood, take a good look around, take out the airbox, see what's sitting under there, see if anything's been changed out. And like I said, if you would, below, let me know what I should be looking for, what I might see under there, and any thoughts you have in general about being a Golf owner, which, you know, even though I didn't realize, it's somewhat of a lifelong ambition. Pete Richards, thanks to you, this got in my head 20-some years ago. But now, I got one. And so here we are. We'll catch you next time, folks. Be memorable, be well, and thanks for tuning in today. And so, yeah. Blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah.